What's going on, YouTube? Welcome to episode 14 of our AlltheMods10 playthrough. In the last episode, we built the fission reactor, started generating power from a turbine, and built an SPS to make the antimatter. And in this next episode, what I want to do is go a little bit further into JustDireThings and make a time wand so we can have access to tick acceleration. And then after that, I think the next thing I want to do is get started in productive bees, because there's a couple things I'm going to need from productive bees in order to further progress. And I feel like I can also just get certain items from productive bees that will help me throughout the playthrough that I want, like sooner rather than later. But I want to thank you for clicking on the video. Let's get straight into it. Alright, so getting started into JustDireThings, we needed to go back to our ancient city and collect up some skulk and some skulk shriekers. Once we collected those up, we were also going to need some dragon's breath, so we use an extractor on a dragon's head to get dragon's breath. I wanted to gather up a little bit of extra ferrocore and blaze gold ingots, so I got started on making those. And I had to go find an end city and one of those flying ships in order to get a dragon's head to then use on the extractor to get the dragon's breath. After slapping a barrel on top, then we can see that we were starting to extract the dragon's breath. We then had everything we needed to craft the void shimmer goo and the shadow pulse goo. Then we surrounded all of them with the blocks they needed in order to get the ores. We then smelted down the raw alloys to make ingots. And we crafted up one of the JustDireThings portal guns. I then wanted to craft up an atomic disassembler just for the fun of it, because it acts as a pickaxe, a shovel, and an axe. And I used it to start doing some expanding in the underground of our base. The next thing we needed to do was set up our time crystal production, so we started out by crafting some advanced swappers, some advanced sensors, some energy transmitters, and we slapped those down at our setups in the overworld, the nether, and the end. After that, we used some budding amethyst blocks on shadow pulse goo in order to make the budding time crystals that we needed. Once those were finished, we boxed those up and put them in our setup in the overworld. And once we threw the block in, then we started generating our time crystals. Once we harvested a couple of those crystals, we were able to make a time wand. And in order to automate this process, I crafted an advanced block breaker for the budding time crystal and connected that back up to our ME system. We then used some polymorphic catalysts and threw it in some water surrounding shadow pulse goo, then threw the time crystals in and collected it with the fluid canister to collect the time fluid. Let's just say we want to speed up this process here. We can see this is going a lot faster now, and our time wand refilled with time fluid, and it was automatically taken from the fluid canister. And as you can see, that crushed down a bunch of that raw ore that we had pretty quickly. And another thing I kind of want to change up a little bit is this mob farm setup that we have going right now. Can always just get more spawners, but yeah, I just want to have one of each spawner. Like, we have 3 of the piglin brute spawners, which we probably don't need. And we got multiple wither skeleton spawns as well. And I only want, so we can keep the stray, get rid of the other stray. We got a zombie on the bottom. We'll get rid of the other one. We got a spider, got the piglin brute, another stray, the ancient knight, the piglin brute, Oh, that's a stray, and that's a skeleton. We already have a zombie, and we already have a wither skeleton. And break this lever, take these 2 spawners, and move them here and here. And we can take this one, move it here. And then we can redstone pen each of these, have that going here, and link the lever. Now we got the spawner up and running again. And I want to make some fermented spider eyes. And looks like we're gonna need some more mushrooms. Craft up some more. And we'll take our fermented spider eye to up the spawn count, and we'll also take some gas tiers for the max entities. And then we can also use some sugar to lower the spawn delay. So let's start with this. I believe that can go to 16. Oh no, it actually goes higher. It goes up to 32. Okay, so we'll just plop these in and put them in this one as well, and these ones on the bottom. And then take the fermented spider eyes to up the spawn count, and that one can go up to 16. All right, now that those are done, I do want to use some wool on this. Looks like we don't have any more string. I believe we do have spider essence. No, we don't have spider essence. I do want to make some more seeds with the mystical agriculture or mobs. I do want to make some mob seeds. Like I want to make slime seeds, squid seeds, which looks like we already got. We got the chicken seeds. So yeah, I think I want sheep seeds, slime seeds, definitely some spider seeds, some ghast and enderman seeds would be nice. And yeah, so I think we will very quickly set that up because it shouldn't take very long. I just want to test this out, and oh my goodness, that is a lot of mobs. That was a lot of mobs. And one thing I did want to make was a void upgrade for the backpack and turn it into an advanced void upgrade. And I actually want to change this configuration just a little bit. I want to remove that and let this collect some items and then see what we want to avoid. So let's just take these out for now, and then we'll let this run. All right, so there are a couple things I do want to keep in here. So let's keep this cinder essence. So I'm not sure if we're gonna need that or not. Keep the arrows, keep the bones, keep the frozen bones, the ender stuff. Honestly, we don't even need that. The ender stuff we will keep in the ender tier. The wither skeleton skull fragments, the wither bones, the string for sure, the spider eyes for sure. And we'll switch that to allow. So now this should void off. All right, there we go. Now we can start voiding off some of this other stuff. Put these back in. All right, and then another thing I want to do is add strays and squids so we can start getting parts of the sea and nautilus shells. So I just need to get some fish essence and squid essence, and then I think we're good. But we already have the squid essence, so we just need the fish. Oh, we have the fish essence. Never mind. So I believe then we just need to make a pattern for this, and I don't think I want to mess around anymore with any of that stuff. I think I'm ready to move on to bees. And we did get an advanced feeding upgrade and found some infinite ham that we threw into our backpack just so we constantly have a food supply. Got a pretty sweet rainbow. And I lied. I just want to get the slime seeds, the sheep seeds, and the spider seeds. And that's it. I just want to get those 3 and then move on from this. So I actually have gotten started with getting some of this soulium dust, which we're gonna need. And I thought I had a soul extractor. I gotta see, let me see. So we got, yeah, the soul extractor, the soul jars, and the soulium daggers. So in order to get the soul extractor, we need soulium ingots, 2 soulium daggers, or 2 soulium ingots and 2 soulium daggers. And to get these ingots, we need prosperity and soulium dust, which we have. And we need more prosperity ingots. So let's just make a couple of these. Should be good. And then have the solium dust and have the, where are they? Prosperity ingots. So I'll make a stack of them for now. And then we're gonna need some gold swords. Let's craft 8 of them. And we're actually, last time I looked, we were running a bit low on sticks. So I do want to take some of these logs, some of these planks, excuse me, make some more sticks. So we don't have to worry about that. And we'll make a bunch of make those daggers. We'll make this, so we need smooth soulstone. So we need to take our soulstone now, take this cobbled soulstone and the regular soulstone, and we'll turn all of that into smooth soulstone because we're gonna need lots of this soul glass. And to get the soul glass, we're gonna need to smelt smooth soulstone. And we can tick accelerate this to make it go by a little bit faster. Throw all that in there. And now we take the smooth soulstone and go ahead and make that soul dust. And we got all that done just in time. So now we can take that, make some soul glass, and now we can make soul jars. So that should be enough for right now, because we want to make, so if we go in here, just need to make the soul extractor now, and just need to hook this up to some power, and we'll just throw it back here for now. And let's see what we need to do here. So let's collect our rewards just in case we get anything good. Some more honey seeds, some coal, machine frame, some gemstone, some more honey seeds. So in order to get, we want slime, sheep, and spider. Those are the 3 that I said I wanted. So we need to fill, oh, so we're gonna actually need some solium seed base and fill 4 soul jars with slime and prudentium. So we're gonna need 1, 2, and 3, and then we need slime for 1. We're going to need wool or raw mutton for the sheep, and also prudentium, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the spider is going to take tertium. So let's grab, let's make some of this tertium, and we're going to need 4. Need string to make wool, and then for the spider we need spider eyes or string, which we will end up just using the spider eyes for. So let's get started on this. Throw slime balls in. How do we do it? So soul extraction, we put slime ball into the soul jar. Did I miss something? Maybe that, oh, okay. So we just had it in the wrong spot. So let's see how far we can take these. So we need 4, 4, 4. So now we should be able to upgrade. Yeah, there we go. And swap these out. We got the Supremium machine upgrade. And it looks like we can also take accelerate this, which is absolutely insane. Looks like we ran out of slime, and there we go. Now we just need wool, and it looks like we're gonna need more wool. So we'll start on the spider eyes. Got the spider eyes, and we just need more wool. So in order to get the rest of the wool we need, I'm going to let the mob farm run for a little bit, and we'll collect up some more string, and while that goes, we will start crafting up these other seeds. So we got the slime seeds going. We can get these spider seeds going. Actually, once we get these spider seeds going, we'll be able to harvest slime from that, or not slime, excuse me, string from that. So we got those, and it looks like we got some extra seeds. We got some copper seeds and some mineral seeds, which we already had, but more will never hurt. And we'll take these. Honey and the mineral can go here. Looks like we already have some honey down. What about the mineral? Oh, we also have the mineral seeds down. So, well, throw down the honey, throw down the mineral just in case we need more. We'll just move those. And then down here is where we have the mobs. So I'll throw down the slime and the spider. I actually want to switch these. We'll do it like that. And we can honestly, so we can take this wool, make these all silent. And now that that is not being as noisy, come back over here, pick those out, put that in. And it looks like it takes a lot to make these sheep seeds. Oh, the raw mutton actually fills it a lot faster. And we can get a bunch of that from the sheep essence, but we don't have that yet. For now, we're just going to have to make do with the spider essence, and hopefully it will be enough. And it was. All right, so now we can bring this up to our infusion altar and we'll get sheep seeds. Throw these down on the farm, call that good. Now, the very, very last thing I want to do for right now is just make some patterns for these. So, got slime balls, we have string, and believe we can make spider eyes, yep. And then we can make wool, and I don't think we really need mutton, so we won't make that. Sweet. And now, looks like for productive bees we need a soul lava bee spawn egg and a withered comb block. Alright, so if we go to the productive bee tree, looks like we need to make four bee cages. So if we actually, looks like we just need some honey blocks. So let's make some honey blocks. And I think we're gonna need a lot of bees, so we'll just throw those in there. And then we're going to need just some logs, I think. Yeah, so we can make bee cages. Then we can make a nest locator. And looks like we just need some, whoa, some zombie hearts. What? Just use some of these and make a couple of these. Make a nest locator. And it looks like we can actually make our own beehives. So if we just throw this here, we can just make beehives. Then we can turn those into advanced beehive. Looks like there's a bunch of different ones you can do. So just like an oak. Oh, I see. Looks like the only thing that we're missing is a campfire, which we can make pretty easily. We just make a stack of those, then we should be good. What did we lose? Since we just lost shears, just make a bunch of shears, I guess. Make a couple more of those advanced beehives. And we got the honey treats. And it looks like we can now, I guess we can just get started on all these. Oh, that's gonna be a lot of bees. And we went through and built all of the nests, all the bee nests that we needed, and are gonna get started on making these types of bees. Now, before we get started on putting all of our bee nests, as you can see, we crafted up a bunch of the bee nests here. So what we're gonna do is I want to make some patterns because we're going to need to make these simulators. And in order to make these simulators, you need a couple different things. So we're gonna need the simulator itself, we need that pattern. We need the anti-teleportation pattern. We need the upgrade base pattern. And then we're also gonna need the honeycomb block pattern as well. And when we place these in, go ahead and place them in there. So now if we want to make, let's say we want to make, let's just go with 32 of these. It says we're gonna need more honey treats, and we can actually make a pattern for these as well. If we just go here, and then we're also gonna need a pattern for the honey blocks. So now put those in, and then we go to our patterns, and we wanna make 32 of them. We can craft those pretty much instantaneously. Now, I don't think we're actually gonna, because we have those upgrades, I don't think we're gonna need this big, contraption that we've built. So I'm actually gonna downsize it a little bit, and there we go. And I think we'll just leave it kind of like this. We throw some doors right here. And I think what we'll do is have these set up just like this. And so we'll have the advanced beehives on the bottom, put the expansion boxes on top. And it looks like we're gonna need more shears. So I actually want to, I'm really enjoying using the pattern providers, pattern encoders, and auto crafting mechanics. It's just been like super useful. And we're definitely gonna continue to use this pattern encoding we got going on. Do a campfire, and we'll throw all this in here. So now we can make, say, like 50 of these. And now we got a bunch of these that we can throw in here, and we'll just surround this whole area with them. I think that will be just about perfect. For now, we can just go with this. I don't really like the way this looks too much, but I think it will do for now. We might end up changing it up here a little bit before we come back. But now what we need to do is grab up some draconic bees. And I'm not sure what I did, if I just had to flip it upside down, and I'm not sure if we can tick accelerate this at all. Doesn't look like we can, but nonetheless, we did get the dragon eggs being duplicated now. And we can let that do its thing while we actually go farm up the draconic bees. And the other thing we're gonna need for the farm is these feeding slabs. So we'll just make, looks like we need more smooth stone slabs. Make those, and then make the rest of those feeding slabs. Looks like we need more chests, and I think that should be good enough for right now. And then what we're gonna do is just go in front of all of these, and we're gonna slap these feeding slabs down in front of all of these. All right, and now that that's done, we can go take a look at this. Looks like we got 9 dragon eggs already, and we need to go travel to the end. All right, so now we're in the end, and what we need to do is let's find a somewhat safe spot. Take our obsidian nest, and we're gonna place that down right here. And then we're gonna place fence there. Those did not place how I wanted them to. Like this, so we can trap the bee. And then what we need to do is take our dragon's breath and use the dragon's breath on the nest. And then at the top, you see the repopulation countdown. And we can use the tick acceleration to actually speed that up. And then once we do that, once that's done counting down, there's going to be a bee that pops out. There we go, draconic bee. And we just use our sturdy bee cage on it, and boom, we have it. And we're gonna just repeat this process until we have about 20 bees, I think. And then we'll go from there. And looks like now we have all of our draconic bees. So now that we have those, we're gonna go back over to our beehives, and we're going to take our bees, and I think we're gonna need our simulators as well. Plop these in. Just throw in 4 for now because that's all the space we're going to be using for right now. And we're going to take our bees and pop them in just like that. All right, so now we got these all filled up with our draconic bees. All right, and now that these are all set up, the next thing we're going to need to do is grab some of our dragon eggs. So if we just go over to our barrel, and we've already gotten 42 of them, but we only need 1 for each hive. So we'll just grab 4, and what we're gonna do is just drop 1 into these feeding slabs. And then the other thing I want to do is grab some speed upgrades for this, and we're going to throw those in our pattern encoder as well. And it looks like we'll just need to make some clocks, and then after that we should be good. Just need some clocks, and then we can make the speed upgrades. We'll just throw these on into our pattern access terminal, and now we should be able to make, if we go speed, should be able to make 12. And yep, that crafted instantly. So now that we have the upgrades, we're gonna go over here, and as you can see, these draconic combs are already being produced, but we're gonna take these, we're gonna throw 3 into each of them, so the bees will be working even faster. And I think what we're going to try to do, just to keep it a little bit simple, is I want to encode some patterns for modular routers, and that's how we're going to transport everything out of here. So we want to make 4 modular routers, and we want 36 of these upgrades, and then we want 24 of these upgrades. And then we're going to need 4 polar modules and 4 sender modules. Now this should work, but if we mark these sender modules to right here, we'll take the router, throw in the polar, set the direction to pull from up, and throw our upgrades in. And we'll just do this for all these real quick. So we'll do this, boom, boom, set it to up, set to up, set to up, set to set to up. We shouldn't even need those upgrades in there, honestly. Probably just take those out, but we'll leave them in there for now, just cause. And all of that stuff now. Yep, all of this stuff is being sent into here. So here we got the combs and we got the pollen puff. And then we're going to take that pollen puff and we're gonna want to make some stone slabs, because what we're gonna build here is a centrifuge, which we're then gonna turn into a powered centrifuge. Now, once we have this, what I can do is should be able to connect this up using our applied energistic system. So what we'll do is we'll grab some cable and an import export bus. Hopefully that will work. And we'll just break this block here and connect it up just like this. Break that block on the bottom. And if we connect the bus there and we have it grabbing the draconic comb, possibly. Oh, it looks like that's actually missing a channel. Maybe we're using too many. No, we're only using 20. So let's get this connected up correctly. So that's using 8 channels, it says. Maybe we need to switch up some of these. Throw those in. Now is that on? Yep, and it's putting in the draconic combs, as you can see. So if we add some acceleration cards, maybe we can speed this up just a hair. And looks like we're getting the draconic dust that we're gonna need. So now we should be able to just leave that and it will do its thing. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab a loot fabricator from Hostile Neural Networks. And we're also gonna grab a simulation chamber. Something pretty cool I actually didn't know is that you can actually tick accelerate these and make them go a whole lot faster. It is kind of noisy though. And as you can see, we're getting a lot more of these draconic combs, like way faster. And it looks like we got one of our antimatter pellets. Now we just need to wait for this to fill up to 1,000 and we'll have our second one. All right, so now in order to get our withered bee, we need to feed our skeletal bees a withered rose. So I'm gonna go down here and see if we can do that. Throw this one out, feed them a withered rose. Now we got a withered bee. Do the same thing for this one. Now we got 2. So I think we're gonna make a heated centrifuge because they are actually faster than the powered ones. And we'll have our draconic combs being fed. And we can take our withered combs and turn them into a withered comb block, which is what we needed for the wither compass. So that's one task done. Now we just need to make the soul lava bee spawn egg. So in order to do this, we're gonna need to get a ghostly bee. And in order to get that, we're gonna need our soul sand nest. So we gotta take our soul sand nest, and it looks like we need to use gas tiers. So we can throw on a gas tier and use our time on. So we're gonna actually have to use the item casting recipe to make the soul lava bee spawn egg. So in order to do that, we have to make this casting table. So we just converted some sand and clay balls into fire clay, which we then smelted down into the fire clay bricks, or the fire bricks, and made a casting table. And it looks like we actually are gonna have to make a foundry for this. So we'll build that down here. So let's build a smart filter. All right, so this one's a little bit more straightforward, but I'm trying to figure out how to build the rest of these. Here we go. So we got the foundry windows. There we go. We got the foundry drains, and we just need the foundry controller. So now we should be able to craft all these. So got that, got the drain, got the controller. Now we just need the tank. Now we just need to build the foundry. So it says this can be pretty small. All right, and it looks like we finished up the foundry. I think all we need to do now is just make a ghostly bee spawn egg. So it looks like I need to actually squish the bee in order to get the genes, and then combine the genes with the honey treat and put the egg in the genes in an incubator, and then that will make the egg that we need. So we're gonna need a bottler. We'll slap that down right there, and then we're gonna need a piston. Yeah, I believe it's gonna be like that. And then we need a lever like that. And then we're just gonna place some trapdoors around, maybe like this. Place some trapdoors just like this. So we're gonna drop some glass bottles in the bottler. All right, so now what we have to do is take our ghostly bees, throw them down in here, squash them, and we get some squashed bee material. And the next thing we need to do is build a gene indexer, and we'll build up a redstone comparator to get that gene indexer. And we're gonna make a couple more of these heated centrifuges. So we're gonna make a couple more patterns here. Make a grindstone pattern, then a centrifuge, then a powered centrifuge, then a heated centrifuge. Now we should be able to say we want to make like 4. We're missing just some dragon eggs. So we can also make some crafting for this. Just throw that in and throw. Oh, we actually are out of blank patterns. Let's make another stack and we'll make dragon chunks. So now say we want 4 of these, craft up 4. Now we can throw our squash bee material in here and we will get these gene samples. So we're gonna take all of these out and we're gonna put them in the gene indexer. So we need to make this baby incubator next, and we'll take that, throw it here, and give it some power. And we just need some eggs, need honey treats, we'll need gene sample for for ghostly bee. And we're gonna take our honey treats and combine it with the ghostly bee gene sample. And I wonder if you can up that. So we'll take that honey treat, throw an egg in, throw the honey treat in. And this process is pretty slow, so we want to throw in some speed upgrades. We'll throw in 4. Here we go, it's moving a lot faster now. So I don't think that was 100% going to work. So what I want to do is I'm going to go collect up a bunch of ghostly bees, so then we can get a honey treat that has 100% on it. And then once we do that, it should work 100% and we'll be able to get that ghostly spawn egg. So I'm gonna go collect up some more ghostly bees. All right, and that should be enough. So now we're gonna take these bees, drop them down, squish them. And there we go. Now we can throw these in our heated centrifuge. And now we can grab all of our samples. And we want to take all of the ghostly bee samples and we want to combine them with our honey treats and see if we can get away with 98%. Then we'll just throw the egg and the honey treat in, and hopefully we'll get that ghostly bee spawn egg. And hopefully this will work. And there it is, we got it. So we got our ghostly bee spawn egg. So now we just have to figure out how to make this foundry work. So I think we should just have to. So maybe what we need to do is make some more of this and then throw this in, throw this soul lava on top. So it says that you're supposed to use the ghostly bee egg there and then have the liquid coming out. We're gonna look this up real quick. All right, so we're gonna redo this just a little bit and try to fix some of this. So it looks like we need some more fire clay. So we're gonna have these liquid heating coils on the bottom, and then we're going to surround that with these black fire bricks. So we'll throw down our controller here, throw down our casting table here. We'll throw a foundry tank down here. I think this is just a visual bug. Yeah, I think that's just a visual bug, so we'll just leave that. We'll throw our drain down here and tap on that, and we'll make one more tank just cause. All right, there we go. All right, I think that should be good there. All right, so that's how we do it. So we just throw the soul lava in the foundry tanks and then throw the spawn egg down. Maybe we just throw the egg in. It looks like the soul lava isn't going into the actual tank. So I think maybe we need to make this actually a block lower, possibly, maybe. Okay, we got our soul lava, and then throw our egg in, maybe. I really am trying to figure out how to do this. Soul lava, 1,000 millibuckets has to go onto spawn egg. Alright, so it looks like what we need to do is throw our, oh shit, oh no, not do that. We need to turn off the bucket mode and place the tank down and take our pressurized tube, maybe not, maybe it's the pipe. Yeah, so, and then we have to take the configurator and change it to pole. There we go. And then just have to that's like full of salt lava. And then we should just have to click this. Maybe it's because we have that meat in there. You try to switch out this grain maybe. Let's try to put the meat into another tank. There we go. So we pulled the meat out. Should be able to get rid of this. Now we put that on normal, and we should, there we go. All right, so got our egg. Now we should have, it's just cooling right now, it says. And we got our soul lava bee spawn egg. Oh, and we're gonna need that for the dragon soul. And that was definitely a process for sure. And I think what I'm gonna do, because next episode, I think I would like to do hostile, I think I would like to get to hostile neural networks next. So I think between episodes, what I want to do is I actually want to change up this entire like fissile fuel setup, because I feel like there's a lot of delays by using the ME system and using the import and export bus. I think it would be a lot faster if we actually just use the configs and had the machines next to each other. So I think I'm gonna redo that whole setup. And then the other thing that I want to do that I'll probably end up adding either in this episode or the next one is making the ALLTHEMODIUM bees, the VIBRANIUM bees, and the UNOBTAINIUM bees, so we can start making those. Because to be able to make this UNOBTAINIUM would be absolutely insane. And it looks like using the UNOBTAINIUM comb blocks we can actually, or the UNOBTAINIUM combs, we can make the UNOBTAINIUM nuggets. So honestly, I feel like this won't be too hard to do. And I think this will be the last thing we do for this video. I think we'll do this, and then between episodes, we'll kind of redo this whole setup. So let's do this one at a time. So we're going to need to make like all of these. So we're going to need a slimy bee and a glowing bee. So we need a slimy nest, glowstone nest, and the glowstone nest we're actually gonna have to go to the nether for. Glowing bee, we're gonna need glowstone dust. So that should be easy enough. And we're also gonna need some cages. We're almost out, it looks like. Speed that up. And then we've got our glowy bee. And then we need slimy bee. Defeated a honey treat in a slimy nest. What in the world? So we might actually have to go to a swamp. So if we use a nature's compass and we look for swamp, we gotta go 1,000 meters this way. There's another floating island and a pretty cool village right here. Pretty sweet. I'll have to come back and check that out. Oh, they got a waystone. Come back and check that out. And it looks like our swamp is right here. So yep. So we just need to grab ourselves a honey treat, and we'll speed this up just a little bit. Excuse me, Mr. Sheep. Excuse me, Mr. Sheep. Excuse me, Mr. Sheep. We actually need this bee to come out. Maybe it has to be daytime. All right, so we got the slimy bee, we got the glowing bee. All right, let's grab our nest up and go back home. Now we need the glowing bee and the chocolate mining. So chocolate mining, dirt nest, and a honey treat. Use a dirt nest, a honey treat, speed it up. It's an ashy mining bee. We actually don't need that one. Another ashy mining bee, leaf cutter bee. I think we just have to keep going until we get the the right one. Oh, I think that's one right there. Just make these scatter, and we'll grab that chocolate mining bee, and we'll let go of that ashy mining bee. We'll just let them chill out. All right, now we got the chocolate mining, so that will give us the redstone. So we'll need a blue banded bee and a redstone bee to make the lapis bee. So we need some popped chorus fruit and an endstone nest, and we need popped chorus fruit. So let's go to the end, go this way. Looks like we still got a draconic bee in here. Let's move this guy. Throw our end bee, maybe not, but there we go. And then we gotta use popped chorus fruit, speed that up. And we got an ender bee. Now we need a blue banded bee. So we'll use an acacia nest and honey treats till we get a blue banded bee. And there's a blue banded bee in here. And here we go, we got our blue banded bee. Alright, so we got the blue banded bee. Now we need to make a diamond bee. So we need a breed. So we gotta make a breeding chamber. We need a rose bush and an upgrade baby. So we got the upgrade that we need. Now we just need a rose bush. Let's see if we can find one. And it says we can actually find them in the Bumble Zone. If I can't find any here, well, maybe this. Oh, that's a poppy bush. Need a rose bush. Maybe these right here. Yes, sir. Let's grab a couple of these. Now we should be able to make a breeding chamber. And it looks like that wants power, so we'll just throw it right here for now. Throw a cable onto it. Throw some speed upgrades and get to breeding. So we want to make the diamond bee. Or no, we want to make the lapis bee. So we need the redstone and blue banded. The glowing and the chocolate mining. I'm not sure how to actually take the thing out. Is it done? Oh, I believe we actually need to put something in there. So if we look at a redstone bee, give it a flower. So let's see, maybe a cornflower. Does that work? Do you like that? Oh, there we go. Now it's working. Oh, we can actually accelerate this as well. Look at that. All right, so we got our redstone bee. Now we need the redstone blue banded and the redstone to breed these. Some of these flowers should be able to breed. Oh, and I just realized that this is a child bee, so it actually needs to grow up first to an adult bee before you can breed them, which makes sense. A lot of bees. All right, so now we got the adult bee. I actually want to grab up some of these skeletal bees because we might need more of those. Probably not, but wouldn't hurt to have more. Now we should be able to throw that in, throw our flowers in, smack it a couple times. It's all done. All right, so now we got the lapis bee. So now we take the ender and the lapis bee to make the diamond bee. The lapis, ender, make a diamond bee. Smack that a couple times. Got the diamond bee. Now we just need to let that grow up. And then we need to feed a diamond bee a block of netherite to make an ancient bee. So just throw these in. Oh, so we actually need to do this. So let's take these out. We gotta take the diamond bee, feed it netherite, and grab it. So now we got an ancient bee. Now that we got the ancient bee, we need the ancient and the withered bee, and we can use some of those skeletal bees now. We gotta feed them a withered rose, and I want to make a couple of those. So I'm doing the math, and I want to have 5 ALLTHEMODIUM bees, 5 VIBRANIUM bees, and 5 UNOBTAINIUM bees. And to get 5 UNOBTAINIUM bees, we need 5 ALLTHEMODIUM, 5 VIBRANIUM. To get 5 VIBRANIUM, we need 5 ancient, 5 draconic. To get the ALLTHEMODIUM, we need 5. So we're actually going to need 10 of all of these. So we're going to need 20 ancient bees. So we're going to need to make 20 diamond bees. And we need 10 draconic bees and 10 withered. So I'm going to skip all the process in between. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to collect 10 withered bee, 20 ancient bees, and 10 draconic bees. So I'm basically just going to go through and breed all of these bees again until we have 20 of each, or 20 of the ancient 10 draconic, 10 withered. So it actually turns out that you have to make the ALLTHEMODIUM, the VIBRANIUM, and the UNOBTAINIUM bees through the foundry. You actually can't breed them anymore as of right now. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just to make it more difficult, but yeah, you actually can't breed these as of right now. And in order to do that, we need to get molten ALLTHEMODIUM on ancient bee spawn egg, and ALLTHEMODIUM spawn egg, and a VIBRANIUM bee spawn egg. So I think we should actually be able to do this. We go down to our foundry and we suck back up all this stuff, and we can actually just put all these bees back in here. It's kind of disappointing that I just spent all that time getting all these bees just to find out that didn't work. And let's pull all that out. And to get molten ALLTHEMODIUM, we can melt ALLTHEMODIUM blocks. So we might actually need to go collect some more. So we need 4 ingots worth, or we need, how much? 360 millibuckets worth. So 360. We can make ALLTHEMODIUM gears and just do it that way. Melt those down maybe. I don't want this in here anymore. It's meat. Alright, so we're gonna need to actually take those ancient bees. We're gonna need to take these ancient bees and actually turn these into eggs. So we're going to take these eggs, put them in here, and get some honey treats, put them in there. Actually, we'll hold on to them and we'll just start smashing these, I guess. And we'll just grab all of the genes from all of these ancient bees. Excuse me, Deuce. And I didn't realize that this did not have any acceleration cards in it. And we're just gonna go in here, grab up all of these gene samples. Alright, so we got the 15 ancient bee spawn eggs that we're gonna need. Alright, so we got the 15 ancient bee spawn eggs that we're going to need to get started on this. And then I believe we need to put this here, put that there, and we just need to convert these. We got one ALLTHEMODIUM bee spawn egg, but we actually are going to need to make 15 of these because we'll need 5 to have as ALLTHEMODIUM bees. We'll need 5 more to get up to the VIBRANIUM, and then we'll need 5 more to, so we'll need 15 ALLTHEMODIUM, 10 VIBRANIUM, and then that will make us 5 UNOBTAINIUM. So we're just going to melt all of these down using our soul lava. I'm not sure if we can actually, oh, we can tick accelerate this. So now we just throw these in. Alright, so we got the 15 ALLTHEMODIUM bee spawn eggs. So 10 of them we're going to set aside because we're going to keep them. Alright, now we're going to need molten VIBRANIUM. Alright, so for this we're going to need molten VIBRANIUM. So we're just going to put in one of these at a time, just because we don't want any of it to go to waste. And once we have that molten VIBRANIUM in there, just throw the ALLTHEMODIUM in, and there we go. And we actually let one of our ALLTHEMODIUM bees out, so we'll just cage that one up and switch that one out there. And we'll keep making these VIBRANIUM bee spawn eggs. Alright, and then this will be the last one. And now we got 10 VIBRANIUM bee spawn eggs. We're gonna leave 5 up there, and then we're going to need to smelt down some UNOBTAINIUM. And we should only need 2 of those gears. We'll just throw the excess in our ME system. Want that to go just a little bit faster, and then we'll start placing these VIBRANIUM bee spawn eggs in there, and we put the molten UNOBTAINIUM on them, and now we should have UNOBTAINIUM bee spawn eggs. So ended up wasting just a little bit of time on this, a little bit more time than I wanted to waste on it, just because I didn't realize that you couldn't breed these things. But made it to our end result, and we just need to make up. We actually needed 1 extra UNOBTAINIUM gear, but now we got this last one, and we will have 5 UNOBTAINIUM bee spawn eggs. So now we have all the bee spawn eggs that we need. And we just need to take some of our empty cages and start caging these up. And then do the unobtainium bees. Now we should have, now we got 5 ALLTHEMODIUM, 5 vibranium, 5 unobtainium. Now we can take these bees and throw them. What in the world? These zombies are taking over my hive. I think we'll actually put these on this level. So, and I actually want to make some more upgrades for these. So I actually want to see, we're going to need echo shards. We do not have a good way to get these. So for now, we're just going to use simulator upgrades and speed upgrades. And there we go. Now we got our ALLTHEMODIUM bees, our vibranium bees, and our unobtainium bees. Now we just need to route this back to our base. And we need to feed these ALLTHEMODIUM blocks. And I assume this will be vibranium and then unobtainium. So we'll grab an ALLTHEMODIUM. Actually, make 3. Grab 3 vibranium blocks. And we won't be able to grab 3 of these. Oh, it looks like we actually will. We'll slap these down. Now, accelerate all these. And yep, looks like we're making a lot. Now we just need to throw in our routers. And we'll throw some upgrades. And we just got to reconfigure these. Now, these should be empty. And accelerate these again. Let those do some work. And while those are doing their work, we can go back up to the top and have these ALLTHEMODIUM combs, the vibranium combs, and the unobtainium. And I actually want to put some speedier upgrades in these. So let's take this, make a pattern for it, take these regular upgrades out, add in 16 speedier upgrades. So we got unobtainium nuggets being made, we got ALLTHEMODIUM nuggets being made, and vibranium nuggets. But I think that's where we're going to end off the video. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. I know that this was a little bit of a longer video, but just to recap, we made our time wand and made our time fluid. Started using an extractor to make a bunch of dragon eggs and dragon's breath, and started setting up all of our stuff setting up all the stuff for productive bees that we need, and have the ALLTHEMODIUM, vibranium, and unobtainium bees, and all of that stuff is being automated now. I'd like to thank you guys again so much for watching. I appreciate everybody that is following the series, and if you're new, thank you for clicking on the video. I hope you come back for more, and the rest of the series is actually going to be in the description below, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.